Okay, so first question, 1a. X plus x plus x plus x is 4x. Multiplying, very easy to make the same mistake. It's x to the power of 4. Okay, we should know from the indices topic that we keep the bases the same when we're multiplying. Then we add the powers, which is why we got the power of 4 here. Next answer, 7x, negative xy. This one, I rewrote my division as a fraction. 12x over 4x. The numerator has 2 x's, the denominator only has 1. So I cross out 1 from the bottom, 1 from the top. When I do that, for the top I only cross out the 2. So then I'm left with 1x here. 12 and 4 are both divisible by 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1. 12 divided by 4 is 3. So then you're left with 3 times x, which we have here. And the denominator is just 1. We write 3x. We don't need to write over 1. Next one, multiply the numbers together. 2 times 3 is 6. X squared, there's nothing to multiply on this side. Y here, and there's a y on the right. Y times y is y squared, and then there's a z squared. 19x take away 2. 12xy plus, so this one here is a combination of addition, multiplication, and subtraction, but BODMAS tells us we need to do multiplication first. That's what I'm going to do. You guys will see that. Yep, so we did 6x times 3y is 18xy. Now we collect like terms. 12xy plus 12 plus 18 take away 4 is 26. Yeah, they're all part of the same family. xy, xy, xy. Next part, collect like terms. Only the x squared terms. The x squared terms can be combined. So negative 12 plus 6 is negative 6. 5 take away 7 is negative 2. So this question here, 6x squared z power of 3 over x cubed z squared. I eliminated 2 x's from the top, and I need to eliminate 2 from the bottom. And I indicated that by crossing out the 3. So now that there's no power of 3, there's only 1x. I cross out 2 z's from the bottom, cross out 2 z's from the top. So I cross out the power of 3 at the top. I'm left with 6z, 6z, and the bottom is just 1x. Expanding. So expanding involves the distributive law. It's when we distribute the 3 into every term inside the brackets. We need to remember that there's an invisible multiplication sign here. So what happens is the 3 multiplies to the x, the 3 multiplies to the 2. And I indicated that with this working out here. 3 times x, 3 times 2. 3 times x is 3x, 3 times 2 is 6. So the working out isn't actually that important. As you can see, they're all 1 mark questions, so an answer is fine. 2x times 4x, 8x squared. 2x times 6 is 12x. Negative 12 times 2x, negative 24x. Negative 12 times negative 6 is 72. Okay, so this one could have written it as another way as well. Let me show you. Oh, not this one, sorry. It's this one. Okay, and then you would write, let's say you carry this minus down here. Then you did negative 12 times 6 is negative 72. And then negative and negative, remember, the 2 negatives make a positive. Okay, I like to treat this as, I don't do this step because, I get the answer straight away. I just do negative 12 times negative 6. Next one. 3x times 2. So 6x, 3x times y, negative 3xy, plus 5x. Collect like terms, 6x and 5x can combine and become 11x. Okay, negative, we got to remember, by the way, this sign, this positive sign belongs to this 5. It doesn't belong to the 3. Okay. Next, we have negative 1 multiplies to the terms inside. There's an invisible 1 there. Okay, 1 multiplied by anything, we know it's the same answer. So with negative 1, all it does, the numbers stay the same, it's just the sign that changes. So negative 1 times positive 2y, negative 2y, negative 1 times positive 5x is negative 5x. And then I just wrote plus x here. So this thing doesn't get affected because it wasn't in the brackets. Collect your like terms, so you have negative 5x plus x. You get negative 4x. Last one on this page. Once again, we're expanding. So 4x times 2x is that, 8x squared. 4x times y, 4xy. 2y times x, 2y times 3y, 6y squared. Collect like terms, so these two here combine. Negative 4 plus 2 is negative 2xy. And then I just left these the same because there are no other like terms. So, just changing my tripod angle for you guys. Okay. We have here factorizing. Factorizing is the opposite of what we did in the last question, which was expanding. Factorizing involves taking out a common factor from everything, that you see here. So 16 and 8, the common factor is 8. So if I take out 8, what's left in the brackets? So I usually do 8 times what gives me 16. And I'll write 8 times 2. So then I do 8 times what gives me 8x. It's x. Okay, and if you're ever unsure about your answer, the great thing is if you expand it, you should get an expression here, and that expression should be the same as your question. If it's not, then you know you've made a mistake. Next one, 4xy plus 6yz, 4x. So I can see 4 and 6 are both divisible by 2, and I can see there's a y in each of them, so I can take out 2y. 2y times 2x equals 4xy. 2y times what gives me this? That's 3z. Next, there's a negative, so I usually take out a negative as well. 6 and 24 are both divisible by 6. Yeah, so negative 6, you open your bracket, negative 6 times what gives me this? Then you write 4x. Negative 6 times what gives me? Positive 6y. So remember, negative times negative gives me a positive. Okay, very important. Next one, there's a 4 and 8, so I can take out a 4. There's an x cubed and x squared, so that means I can take out the maximum of 2 from each. 4x squared times x gives me this. 4x squared times 2 gives me that. This next one's a little bit trickier. The common term in both of them is actually a bracketed term, and that's fine. So all we do is we take out the bracketed term, which is y plus 2. I rip that out. Once I rip it out, all I'm left with is x and 3, which is what I've written here. You can tell yourself y plus 2 times what gives me x y plus 2. So this times x will give me this. This times 3 will give me 3 y plus 2. Next, substitution question. So all I've done here is replaced the expression with the letters, the numbers, the values that the question has given us. So A is 3, B is 4, C is negative 5. 3 plus 4 times negative 5. So then 4 times negative 5 is negative 20. Plus and minus become minus. 3 take all that to that. These are 2-mark questions, so you need 1 line of working out, 1 line to show that you've substituted the values correctly, and then your answer. So the calculator can really help you out here. So I replace the a with 3, replace the c with -5. 3 times 3 is 9, -4 times -5 is positive 20. 9 plus 20 is 29. So I didn't use a calculator for those, but like I said, you're more than welcome to. Next question. A is 3, so I've just substituted once again. 3 squared is 9, -2 times -5 is 10, 3 times 4 is 12, 19 over 12. 19 is a prime number, so you cannot simplify that fraction. Next, I substituted the values in. I wrote this division as a fraction, it just makes it easier. This one, you got to be careful, you need to square the 4 first before you multiply it by 5. 4 squared is 16, 6 times -5 is -30 over 3. Plus and minus make minus, 5 times 16 is 80, 80 take away 10 is 70. Next questions. Complete the table of values using this rule or formula. So what y will equal 4 take away 2 times 1. 4 take away 2 times 1 is 2. 4 take away 2 is 2. Put the 2 in now. 4 take away 2 times 2. That's 4 take away 4. That's 0. Yeah, keep doing that even up to the last one. You put 50 in. 4 take away 2 times 50. 2 times 50 is 100. 4 take away 100 is -96. Now this last question here, probably a little bit tricky. There's just a typo, so this 2 should be a 4. There's a pattern going down that it decreases by 2 each time. So you can either do trial and error and you know that you have to get some type of formula. Y equals something times x plus something else. Okay? And you can try and error and be like, oh, maybe 9 times 3 is 27. 27 take away something. You can do it that way. Another way is try and get to the column of 0 if you can. So we know that it subtracts 2 each time. So the next column of 3, which would be here, but there's no space, so I've done it down here, would be 2. And it keeps dropping down by 2 each time. So I know this 0 column is really important. The 0 column tells me that no matter what number I put in here, the rule involves me subtracting 4. So I know for a fact, which I've written here, is there's a subtraction of 4 happening. But something happens to the x before subtracting 4. As you can see here, 3 take away 4 does not give me 2. Something gets multiplied, 3 multiplies by something, and then it subtracts 4 to get to 2. So if something subtracts 4 to get to 2, that something has to be 6. So how does 3 become 6? It multiplies by 2. Yeah, so if you check it out with the other column, 2 times 2 is 4, 4 take away 4 is 0. With the 5 column, 2 times, you put 5 here, 5, 2 times 5 is 10, 10 take away 4 is 6. So if it works for a few columns, I know it'll work for the rest. So you just check it with a few columns. Feel free to do any other method for that if you have a better method.